Hey, boys and girls, weather report for February 16th, 2022. Welcome. What's happening there? Yeah.
I think I'd start talking really manly for the show.
We really wish we would, Gur.
Sorry. No, that's not Gur. That's not Gur. Don't say that word.
Wait, I gotta change my name.
Yeah, we wouldn't have the likes of Gurmania on this channel.
Let me see if I can change my name.
Nope.
While he's working to do that, I just want to direct everybody to Creation Myth's latest video, the waiting time problem. The link is in the description, as there are many other links that you'll find fascinating and interesting. Dr. Dan has a great channel. If you're talking to a YEC person about different things like what do they call it, the degrading of the human genome or something like that, check out his channel first. Find the short video. They're usually 15 minutes long on that particular topic, and go through it, because you'll save yourself a lot of wasted time, because he really knows how to show the data and show where YECs have gone mythical with their beliefs about the human genome and other genomes as well, like viruses and things.
So Standing for Truth keeps saying that there have been thousands and thousands of numerical calculations proving that genetic entropy is true and that there can't possibly be evolution. And what he's referring to is I don't think thousands of times that Sanford ran his own program, Mendel's accountant, and he keeps putting way too much weight in that piece of shit. So,
yeah, it just don't happen.
I get really tired of his claims. I mean, he just boldly claims that all this stuff's been refuted and been proven, and he is just about as full of shit as his friend Kent Hovind.
Who is this again? What was the name? What was the name?
Standing in Poop.
Oh, okay,
yeah. And what's really interesting is the other night on, maybe last night on Cell's channel, I just tuned in for a minute, and apparently, Cell has been doing a bunch of Kent Hovind bashing, as he should, because the man is,
good for him.
He's recognizing the man for the piece of shit he is. Well, apparently somebody on another channel, and I'm pretty sure it's Standing in Poop, made some snide comment to him like, "Oh, nobody showed up for your Hovind bashing party." So anyway, so those guys used to be friends, not anymore. Not anymore.
I have to give credit to Sal for. I assume he was talking about Kent Hovind's behavior.
He had Cindy on there with him. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good,
so he has been defending her, and he put out a bunch of links last night that were for women who were in that position with the church and with organizations. So he put out a bunch of helpful links for helping people that are being abused like she was. And yes, he does deserve credit for that. He did a good job.
Awesome. So, I honestly would have never expected that.
I kind of do. He's a mixed bag. I mean, he's lying through his teeth about, science and stuff like that. But he's got essentially, I think he tries to have a good heart, except when it comes to gay people and, shit like that. But I mean, it's like I say, it's mixed. He's not a bad person. I guess.
Has he said anything about the LGBTQ, Sal?
Oh fuck yeah,
Really?
Him and Emery Moyna, they're on all the time.
It doesn't surprise me, but
yeah,
sometimes, like when I talk to him, the few times I've had small exchanges with him, he seemed like a nice guy. But I'm telling you, it doesn't surprise me. It seems like a lot of young Earth creationists are also homophobic. So,
yeah, there's I don't know if I'm going to display that on the screen or not. Nope, I won't. But anyway, I did have that thought.
That's fucked up.
It was just a brief thought. I tried it. It's like bad Mike. You're bad speed.
One time I was streaming and somebody said, if Gurr highlights this, he knows he's a piece of shit. And I highlighted it because I didn't read it. I was going to read it on the air. And right after I read it, I was like, all right, you got me.
Got it, yeah.
You son of a bitch. Oh, speaking of people, young Earth creationists and their homophobia, I was in a VR chat room last night, I think it was, virtual reality, and I met a Pentecostal who supports gay rights, who is not a young Earth creationist as well. The most mixed bag Christian I've ever come across, because most of the time Pentecostals are young earthers. They usually bash gay people day in and day out. I know because my parents and a lot of the people I know are Pentecostal yuckers. And so it was refreshing because it's like, okay, you're one of the loony Christians, but when it comes to science, you're not that loony. And when it comes to LGBTQ, you're also accepting. So that was really strange. He's like a unicorn.
I think one of the problems that Emery Moyna and Sal Cordova have with that McLean Bible Church is that they are slowly becoming more and more liberal and accommodating to different, different ideas. And that's one of the things that's happening, I think, in the Baptist church right now is they've got a bit of a split between the woke, they call them, and the unwoke. They haven't woken up yet.
The woke and the asleep.
The unwoke. Who did we lose? We lost Scott again.
Scott, yeah.
No, Scott.
Scott got to go to work. Scott have to go to work? Oh my God.
So, Speed, I put a link in the private chat. It's a little short. Pine Creek put out a little short video. It's not really off subject, but it's kind of a little short video on the Christian Trinity Radio, I think it's called.
Oh yeah, Braxton Hunter.
Yeah, those guys. Yeah, and they had some guy on, and he just said some crazy, wacky stuff, and it's just kind of a typical Christian wacko stuff, and it's only like 30 or 40 seconds you listen to it, and it's like when it's all over, you're going, what? Like it's some crazy. So it's if you feel like playing it, you can play that. It's a little short video.
Is it as bad as the worm guy?
Yeah.
Okay, let's roll it. Let's see if
you can hear beautiful bean footage.
Let me know if you can hear it.
From the beginning of the ages, it was always expected that Adam was going to sin because the Lord wanted to have Jesus come to die for the sins of the world. If you're a Christian, you and I, Christians, are actually in a better state today than we would have been if Adam and Eve had never eaten from the tree. We're better off than we were if Adam and Eve had never ate from the tree, because we got to get to know God the Son, allow himself to be tortured to death to demonstrate his love for us.
Wow.
I told you,
David.
I told you.
Me great material.
Like, what?
I needed some new material to make new content with. This is
that
guy. Oh my God.
Yeah, holy shit. No kidding.
Yeah, I got it. I mean, I fucking torture videos. I mean, they got videos of that shit because, I want to watch that.
And that guy's got a doctorate. Obviously, it must be in some sort of a biblical doctorate, right?
Yeah, so
theology
He
doctorate.
has a doctorate in imagination.
Yeah, exactly.
Really bad, terrible imagination. So when babies get cancer, just remember, we're better off with babies having cancer. Hey, hold on one second.
So I've been involved in some, Bible type things recently, and I've watched some videos about Christ dying on the cross and how God loves us so much that he killed Christ for our sins because he loves us so much, and we just have to. It's just like you can just feel yourself being hugged by this. Okay, so if your neighbor took his kid out on the lawn and crucified him in front of you because he loved you so much, because his kid shit on your lawn or something, or let leaves blow on your lawn or grass clippings, so he took his kid out and crucified him so that you would feel better. Would you feel comfortable with your neighbor hugging you?
It'd be more that he has one kid that does that, and then the other kid he criticises that it was perfect to him.
Did anybody hear any? Oh, sorry. Nobody heard any yelling in the middle of my making a point.
No.
Did you?
No.
Okay.
Oh yeah, we heard that whole thing. Yeah, it's all recorded.
My girlfriend comes barging in. She's like, and I'm like, oh shit.
Well,
we heard my point.
We heard a tiny bit, but not.
Okay, good. I was glad I had the mute button handy.
Yeah. By the way, Clay Jones has a doctorate of ministry from Trinity Evangelical Divinity School.
Oh my God, that's
and he's also executive director of Trinity Law School, which is kind of weird.
Wow!
And then he has an MA in Christian apologetics.
Yeah. And another little note, Little Peepee, I think, is going to do a review on that whole video tonight. I think he's got scheduled.
Which video?
So on that little short clip that you just saw.
Okay.
That's probably like an hour or whatever, an hour or two video interview on whatever YouTube channel that came from. And Little Peepee's going to do a review of that whole thing tonight. So there's probably a lot of juicy stuff on there. I would imagine. I haven't seen the whole video, of course, but I don't know where Pine Creek got it. But that was, obviously Pine Creek got it, pulled that little juicy tidbit off of it, and
I would be curious to know what other Christians think of that, because what that guy is saying, when you unpack it, he is saying it's good. It's better that babies are being born with cancer. It's people are getting assaulted, murdered, tortured. All of that is all better than had Adam and Eve not eaten of the fruit.
I don't know if he was thinking that far.
But that's what I'm.
He was only thinking about his own
niche. When you unpack it, I don't see any other way to view it. I'm not saying he's glad that people are being murdered and all that, but I mean, when you unpack it, that seems to be what he's saying.
Okay, but
usually they think narrowly.
From the Buddhist perspective, if Eve hadn't taken the bite of the apple, then Adam and Eve would still be alive after 6,000 years, sitting in this garden, munching vegetables. And that's it. Munching vegetables for 6,000 fucking years. I mean, would you want to be a part of that? I don't know. Hey, that sounds pretty boring.
Remember, it seems like after 6,000 years, their teeth would be worn down.
Remember, God gives you free will, but if you use your free will in the way that he doesn't want you to use it, he's going to send you to hell forever. But you still have free will. Oh, and he loves slavery, like Old Testament slavery. He was all about that.
Oh, and Scott, you're wrong about the dental thing, because without genetic entropy, your teeth would never wear down.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Hey,
use them for
beavers don't have that problem, right? Or
you're right.
Beavers growing their teeth.
Maybe Adam and Eve.
To Randolph Richardson. He's in the side chat.
I think I'm going to throw the link out there, but I don't know. What do you think? No, I think I'm going to.
Well, he's driving. Just so you know.
Oh, he is?
I think that's what he said. Oh no, he's at work. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Work? You mean the man works?
I thought he didn't have a job. No, I'm just kidding.
No, I thought he was self-employed.
Yeah, the computers and shit, I think.
Well, he might be self-employed, but that's still a job.
Randolph, is that what it says on your card? Computers and shit?
I thought he does taxes, doesn't he? I thought.
Oh, okay. No, he does his taxes.
I thought he was an accountant.
He tells us about him, but I don't know if that's what he does for a living.
Yeah, I thought he talked about accounting. I'm not sure though. I could be wrong.
What is this thing? I'm sorry.
If you breathe fluorine like all the time, it will cure genetic entropy.
Fluoride like a neurotoxin
for your teeth. Yeah, it'll probably kill you pretty fast. I don't know.
So you only need a little bit to keep good for your teeth.
Hey, I like what Eric said.
Put in the water.
Eric said maybe God originally made humans like sharks that constantly regrow their teeth. Sharks are without sin.
Yeah, sharks are pretty cool. Funny. Anyway, so I have this article which and I hadn't sent a link to Midnight. God damn it. Because this article is something he brought me. He brought it this morning, and of course I went through the roof. As I do.
Because quantum computer math, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think my brain could hallucinate math if it wanted to. It's just not something I think about
Same.
enough.
Yeah,
midnight. I can add things together. I used to could do algebra and calculus and stuff, but
yeah,
it's been a while.
So he talks a little bit about math and the brain and how numbers showed up 6,000 years ago. Whoa, was that at the Garden of Eden? I don't know. Why 6,000 years? Oh my God, more proof for young Earth. Let's see. If you had to keep track of dozens of cave mates, for example, you might carry a pebble. Okay, he goes on. Let's do the research, he says. The aforementioned research terms recently published in a fascinating paper titled Neuronal Codes for Arithmetic Rule Processing in the Human Brain. As the title intimates, the researchers identified an abstract code for processing addition and subtraction inside the brain. Anyway, there's more. Math happens. Let's see.
But wait, there's more.
Okay, Bonn and Tübingen teams. So he mentions the university, but he never mentions the researchers. They had 9 volunteers that had electrodes stuck in their brains because of epilepsy, and they came up with this information. We found abstract and notation independent codes for addition and subtraction in neuronal populations. Decoders applied to time-resolved recordings demonstrated static code in the hippocampus based on persistently rule-selective neurons, in contrast to a dynamic code in the perihippocampal cortex originating from neurons carrying rapidly changing rule information. Everything's cool so far, right? Okay, and then let's see, neuron recodings. Here's what the researcher says. So should we read that? Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, following the logic, perihippocampal cortex may represent a short-term memory of the arithmetic rule, whereas downstream hippocampus may do the math and process numbers. Well, I don't know about that. But anyway, let's take inventory. Hard-coded, keeping in mind, 86 billion per the paper. Oh, what the hell? Whoa.
What the hell? Whoa.
My Google is lacking. My Google is lagging over here. Okay, let's see. You didn't. That's kind of how your brain does math, at least according to this new research. It uses the surface. It uses rules to surface the answer that makes the most sense. Okay, we're still good. Intelligence. Can you guess how many candies are in the jar below? What does it all mean? Okay.
Wasn't it like a group of people that can guess pretty close than one person?
Yeah. Okay, it makes sense. And this research might give us our first actual glimpse. I'm going to have to read it over here. First actual glimpse at a quantum function inside the human brain. But as far as we can tell, come on. I can't read this. What is happening right now? Is that...
What do you mean, what's happening? Are you hearing a ding?
I am.
That's me. I was trying to get back into my VM.
Okay. Okay, actual glimpse of the quantum function inside the human brain. But as far as we can tell, they were only able to record and process hundreds of neurons at a time. That's obviously a very tiny drop from a giant bucket of data.
And we have another visitor, and that would be Midnight. Midnight, how you doing?
Good.
Okay,
I noticed. Well, hang on. I noticed you were reading that. Then I checked my email. Then I get your. Then I noticed you actually sent it. So I guess we were talking about the greatest, the greatest article I've ever given you.
Yep. Let's see here. Where
and
are
probably
we?
the last greatest article.
Okay, there could be implications on a much grander scale. The researchers don't mention the ramifications for technology in their biology experiment or directly discuss its results in quantum computing terms. Okay? And they don't discuss their results because that's not in the fucking paper. None of that is in the paper. The word quantum never appears. The word computer never appears in the paper. The paper is not about what this guy thinks it's about. Why go through all the trouble of hallucinating an answer across myriad neuronal complexes?
Wait, have you looked at the paper?
Yes, I have the paper over here. We'll look at the paper in a minute. The answer may lie in the quantum nature of the universe. When you perform a simple math function such as adding 2 + 2, your brain may hallucinate all of the possible answers at once while simultaneously working to both remember the answer.
Discovered by Stormchaser Midnight?
Oh, yeah.
How am I a Stormchaser?
That's what we call people who bring us stuff for the weather report.
Oh.
Get it?
That makes sense.
Yeah. Okay, so, you know what? That's clever. I like that.
I think that was Scott, or was that you, Scott, or David? Came up with Stormchasers.
I think it was me.
I think it was Scott. Yep.
Okay, if the human brain were binary, you'd probably have to wait for it to go through each permutation individually instead of hallucinating them all at once. What else? Who is this bozo? Okay, that's it. Okay, oh no. The result is that you are probably answering the question in your head before you can actually recognize that you're thinking about it because both functions occur simultaneously. That's called quantum time travel. Fuck me.
What?
Yeah.
Is there an actual paper, an actual peer-reviewed or whatever kind of paper behind this?
Right there.
Well, there we go. What's that guy say?
That guy just says that he
that guy, I mean, all those people who signed off on it there.
Yeah, it was Mormon is the lead researcher on it, and then Cutter would have been the second because they always put the lead at the end. But anyway, they did a bunch of work with placing electrodes in the hippocampus and parahippocampal region, and they made some discoveries that kind of changed a little bit how we think about working memory. Like when you do math in your head and you think, 7 - 2 is 5, or you think 7 + 2 is 9, they found out that there are very different areas set aside for addition and subtraction. That's one finding. The other finding was that there's a whole lot of involvement of your temporal lobes in working memory and in remembering stuff. Like you hold those numbers in your head while you're doing the calculation. And then they found they found an interesting dynamic region in the area around, kind of like it's like a little circle around your ears. And then in the middle of that is your hippocampus, which keeps track of spatial representations and also time. So apparently we use that same thing for numbers when we're doing simple math in our head. And the entire paper basically does not talk about anything about what he mentioned in the article is bullshit about imagining all the possible solutions to the problem. And this is the problem I have with people attaching quantum to every fucking thing that says brain. And it's like,
So speed. I would like to talk about quantum. Let's see. What bullshit can I come up with? Quantum spiritual energy that permeates the entire universe. I don't know, but
what? Okay, Midnight, watch this. Nobody can see what I did to you.
No,
yeah.
we
Well,
couldn't
no.
see.
But you.
Okay, there it goes. Yeah, do that
Okay,
again.
come on,
do that
man.
some more.
Do it again. Do it again.
Hey, Gur,
Yes.
go to bed. Okay,
No, you
go to bed.
I'm not
And get
tired.
and get a tan also.
Hey. I would only tell you to get a spray tan. You know what's funny? I've got people in different rooms. Like anytime I'm in the side chat of a different stream, somebody will just randomly say, "Hey, Gur, go get a tan," or "Hey, Gur, go to bed." It makes me laugh.
I love when it's become a meme.
I know.
I love that.
It's
You know
funny.
what? I really love Rage's video he made of me. Like, you know what? I could be a dick. I could be a dick and go flag it right now, but nah.
You see that? No results found for quantum.
Well, sorry.
Well,
Sorry. I really love quantum mechanics, and I always get giddy when I see that.
Whoops. Okay, they got something for computer. Computers on 3. Okay. Tasks on a computer display. Okay, we asked the human participants to perform tasks on a computer display. So anyway, my point is, people, stop with the fucking quantum bullshit. It has nothing to do with the fucking brain. Stop it. God damn it.
You got to spray them with some water. Stop it.
Stop it. Anyway,
That's
you do understand.
Notice my tan?
Huh?
Anybody noticing my tan?
Oh, you got a tan. Nice. That is nice, dog.
Now you got cancer. Congratulations.
Mm-hmm.
Congratulations, Topdawg. You will know albino.
Yep.
Wait, no. Actually, I'm curious. Can you turn that avatar into an albino? I would love to see you using an albino avatar.
It looks like he's about
what
to
it
try.
usually is, isn't it?
Oh, let's see. I think I have another one too. Math
But
neurons.
Speed, you know I love you, right?
Hey,
Oh, yeah.
David, did you find
You know I love you.
the timestamp for that one stream you were talking about earlier?
I haven't yet. No. I
I'm
haven't had a chance. I'll have to mute.
Math neurons identified in the brain.
I'll go try to find it. I'll be back.
This is a good article. This is somebody who wrote an article about that same paper, and
But did it right.
Did it right, yeah.
Okay, goody.
And actually mentioned the professor's name, Professor Mormon, and his group, and they talk about what they found, and which was quite refreshing. So I was happy about that.
Okay, well, can you link? Wait, are you linking that in the chat in the description as well?
Oh, I should put that in there. The decent article.
Yeah,
Okay.
put in the decent article. But hey, you know what? You should be happy at bringing you articles so you can find the decent ones.
I know. Okay.
Hey, do you want to hear something unbelievable?
Yeah.
You asked me to go find that, right, Gert?
Yes.
And I kind of
What the
had a
fuck?
general idea. I had the video already up, and I was getting ready to look for it, and I had a general idea. I put it right on it, exactly.
Nice.
I mean, talk about right on the money. I don't know how.
You know what, David? That's the Lord. He's guiding.
Yeah,
your steps.
he was looking for me. So, all right,
He's
let
guiding.
me. I'm going to give you the link, and then I'll give you the timestamp of that.
Yeah, I want to see this.
Hold on.
Alrighty.
What up? I'm Chibo Carey. Trust your instincts and be willing to
What
try
the hell
stuff.
is
There's still things I don't know about Photoshop, but that's exactly what's great about
Fucking
it. There's always something new to discover.
Stop it.
What was that?
Oh, it was a fucking ad
That was
ran with that article. Anyway, so you gave me a link in private chat, David. We'll go and see if we can hook that
Has
up.
Pine
From the
Creek
beginning of
ever
the
joined one of your
ages, always
streams?
expected that Adam was going to sin.
What is going on? Okay, that's not it.
So can I bring something up to everybody who may not be aware of it?
Yeah. Well, maybe. Go ahead.
Well, it's what I told you. It's what I told you this morning.
Do it. I don't know what it is, but do it.
I can't remember. I forgot. I was so freaked out about this article that I forgot everything. Everything else you said.
I told you about a certain fight that may or may not happen.
Oh yeah, you were telling me about the smoke.
I heard about that.
Yeah, we.
Oh, so you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, we talked about it on the last weather report, actually.
Oh wait, you did? Okay, I wasn't sure if you had mentioned it or not, but yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
I heard about it, then I looked into it, and I saw it. Wow.
You know what? I really love those eyes.
Oh my god! So okay, this is not public knowledge, but me and Gurr have been exchanging heated emails, and I challenged him to a balloon fight in Minnesota.
No, that's not the fight I'm referring to, and you know it.
And I'm gonna pay his airfare to come here and fight me with balloons.
And I'm bringing it, bro.
Like honestly, I wanted it to be televised. I want it streamed. I want it streamed live. I want to see whether that actually happens. It would be Andy Worski versus Takaso all over again. Does anyone know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, with Andy Worski and Tonka.
Yeah, Takaso, who never showed up to the goddamn fight, but apparently he was in Knoxville the night before. He just didn't show.
Midnight. As much as I freaking cannot stand, and as much as I despise Andy Worski, I will give him credit that he showed up ready to fight, whereas the other guy did not.
Yep.
It's
funny as hell, right? Takaso spent years acting like a tough guy on the internet, saying, "I will fight you, I will fight you, I will fight you." And then when Andy Worski said, "Okay, I'll fight you," Takaso turned into a little bitch. God damn.
Yeah.
Yeah. Demeter's here. Hi, Demeter. Hi, Jerry. Hi, Smokey.
Everybody loves me.
Hi, Vesta. Hi, Dessel. I'm missing everybody.
Yeah, Dessel thinks they're so funny. Listen to Gurr or stick my face into a twirling ceiling fan. Such difficult choices.
That is tough. That is a tough one. So, they.
Oh, yep.
Uh-oh.
Did you find the timestamp?
Yes, I was waiting for everybody to stop talking. Go to 2:05:55.
2:05:55.
2:05.
And it's only like 30, maybe a minute of it is all you're gonna listen to, maybe something like that.
Okay, I'm close. I'm at 2:05:37.
You probably don't. Well, whatever. That's fine.
Oh, let's see. Let's start it up, and we'll make it like that. Okay. So, do we got it? No, we got the wrong thing. Hang on a second here. Okay, we got the right thing now, I think. And hang on a second. What the fucking fuck? Okay, play it.
Please.
Sure. All right.
Here we go. Oh, I muted the site because of all those fucking ads.
Funny. Over there, so you're welcome to come on in.
Wait, isn't that girl, Bread of Life, the one that was like saying that two homosexual was a cute thing?
I have no idea.
Oh my god, it's
that's the girl. Yeah, that's the girl. I said she should get a.
No, she was saying you shouldn't bully like homosexual couples.
Yeah, I disagree with that.
You think you should bully those people?
Yeah.
Okay, guys, gentlemen, we are not going to discuss
risking the server.
Okay, that's not going to be discussed on my channel. If you guys want to have that conversation somewhere else, you can, but it's not going to be discussed here. Okay, if it's brought up again, it will be gone. Whoever brings that topic up is going to be gone.
What topic?
Yes, sir.
Good to go.
So
what's that sunflower in the chat?
What the fuck? Okay, well maybe John just didn't want to get into the political controversy.
I don't know. I found that awful strange that he put a stump to that like that.
Well,
Yeah.
it does. It would do damage to him if he expressed the opinions that Will just expressed, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I would think so. Yeah.
Hopefully, John doesn't have those views. I don't know, but it is
But anyway,
odd that he would just shut down the conversation and instead of just saying, "Hey, no, I do not condone bully. I don't condone bullying of gay people, but we're going to change the topic." That's all he had to do.
Speed, you're echoing again, I think.
I'm going to leave and come back. I'll see you guys in a minute.
Yep.
Or will you? Well, Scott is now the host.
How about Will?
Yeah, I was away from the keyboard for a few minutes there, Gurr and David.
Yeah.
But you should have heard me howling in the back room because I could hear you say to David after David said he opened it at just the right spot for this video, and you said, "You know what that is? That's the Lord." Yeah. And I just busted out laughing. I couldn't stop laughing for 5 minutes. I don't know why.
I've been saying that in chat. I've been trying to spread the word that Gurr is actually a closet Christian, but nobody seems to believe me.
You're getting kind of close to exposing him.
Yeah.
But anyway, I just thought I'd share that with you. It made me laugh just out loud.
Okay, I'm making a bold move.
Don't tell anyone I'm a Christian, okay? Uh-oh, he's opening up the stream, the floor, the room.
Bold move.
He's passing the mic.
So where did Midnight go?
He did his midnight thing where he just disappears for no reason.
Oh, I wanted to beat him a little more about that quantum thing.
You should have.
Yeah, midnight, so how about that Will character, huh?
Oh my God, he's a piece of crap, ain't he?
He's awful. And he's
for being like a high school kid?
Yeah. He's like 17, 18 years old, something like that.
Yeah,
he's like, pretty young.
You would think one of the Christians in that room would have said, they could say, "I don't agree with homosexuality," but they could have also added to that, "Hey, I don't agree with bullying gay people." Like, I mean, is that easy?
They could actually overgeneralize it and go, "As a Christian, I don't believe in bullying at all. Anybody, anytime."
Yeah, or that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But wow, that Will guy, what a piece of shit.
Yeah.
He
certainly is.
You see, it's troubling that there are still Christians out there with that mindset. Here we are in 2022, and you have a Christian not just condoning the bullying of gay people, but actually encouraging it.
Right.
Yeah, and in this country, they actually want to make a case for that religion controlling the government, right?
Ooh, scary.
You can imagine what kind of a country we'd live in.
Yeah, I know.
They were in charge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would be a deadly state.
It would be deadly. Anyway,
Will, I don't see him around. I think he spends a lot of time over on Discord. I think Will does. Like he jumps on to all the Christian. He's in with Darth a lot.
He sounds like an idiot, a pitiful idiot at that. So, Speed, what's on the screen? What are we looking at?
Okay, this is Nicole King, Dr. Nicole King, I think. I think she's a doctor. And she has an iBiology article, which I believe I linked in the chat or in the description. Yes, I did. And she has a part 1 and a part 2, and this is on the origin of multicellular animals. And they found there's these little animals that live everywhere. They're little microscopic things called choanoflagellates. And they're just one cell.
Say and that got a little fast. Sorry.
Choanoflagellate. Fuck you.
I'm impressed.
Okay, good. I'm glad you are. Anyway, so they have a little they have one cell, and it has a little collar which consists of I think you pronounce it villi, villi, or villi, or what, villi. They're the same things that you have in your intestines that dissolve your food. They're little things that stick up, but they're in a collar around this cell. It's like a teardrop shaped cell. And then it has a flagellum in the middle of that, and it can swim. And it also can sit there and beat its flagellum and pull bacteria in to its collar and then its caller ingests the bacteria, and they eat it. Basically, they eat bacteria. Now, these things, these choanoflagellates, they're their own separate little branch. They're not true animals. They're kind of a separate branch at the very base of our tree, so they're very different than us. But they found out that they also have exactly the same structure as sponges, except sponges use the same cell type, but sponges are multicellular animals, right? So anyway, in the lab, they did this experiment where they were trying to figure out. They put a bunch of these things in in some water, basically some seawater or fresh water. They exist all over, and they would form little rosettes or little clumps. Some species of them would get together and form what looked like a little multicellular colony of these choanoflagellates. And so then they thought, okay, this looks remarkable. They stick together, and it looks remarkably like a multicellular animal. And these things also have they have asexual reproduction, and they also have a sexual mode. So they have little sperms that come out. But anyway, so she did a bunch of research on this, and they tried to figure out what exactly signaled these things to clump together and form these little colonies, because sometimes they do it and sometimes they don't. So what they did is they cleaned the water out. They got rid of all the bacteria because they wanted to sequence the genome, and if the bacteria was in there, it would screw up the sequencing, right? They'd get part of the bacterial genome. And when they cleared out the bacteria, they found out that they didn't clump up. So it turned out that something in the bacteria, a protein in the bacteria, made them clump together, but only particular kinds of bacteria. And oddly enough, they're the same bacteria that are found in our lower gut, like our colon and that area. And so they figured out that the bacteria kind of work in conjunction with these cells to form these little multicellular colonies. And when they form these colonies, they all beat together and they can pull bacteria into the center, and they all, work like a happy little community. So anyway, she is working on the origin or the very basis of the very first multicellular animals. And she did the video goes on, and they show how this multicellular colony can differentiate into different cell types and basically create an organism with different kinds of tissue. So it's the very beginning of multicellularity. And of course, the creationists will always say, oh, that could not have evolved, right? Because, all the cells would have to work together and all this blah, 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 blah bullshit. But she has a very, very decent hypothesis about how this could have happened. And there's 2 videos, and I linked them both in the description, and they're pretty good. So there's
life is just complex chemistry.
Yeah, and this is some pretty simple stuff. Let me see. Yeah, she's showing some of those little guys. It's let's see, S Rosetta. S Rosetta is, I forgot how to pronounce. It's something goica or something. S Rosetta. They're a particular kind of choanoflagellate. And it's very fascinating, and it led me to a whole bunch of papers. Selpin goica Rosetta. That's in Rosetta because it forms these little roses that you see, these little multicellular colonies. And it was quite fascinating. This is a site called iBiology. Now here is a sort of I think this is hypothetical, but they're talking about how, these little the ones on the left with the little collars, still have their flagella, and then apoptosis would kill something in the middle, and these would lose their flagellum or invert it, and it's just a path to multicellular animals that makes a great deal of sense. And this team is doing a lot of research. Now they found out that some of the things that clump these cells together are still present in us. They're like fossil traces of multicellularity and the things that stick cells together. Now, I have been studying the things that stick cells together for the last couple of weeks, and it's quite fascinating. Someday I will share with you guys, maybe. But anyway, I just wanted to point that out and tell you that that's in the description. So fascinating.
And you said that is linked. This video is linked in the description box.
Yeah, both of them, part 1 and part 2. And she's got some pretty decent research. And
hey, BrainBug, they're in the side chat. So,
or in the description. In the description. I'm trying to find. There was a picture here somewhere. Okay, right there.
I'm going to paste the link and see if we can attract a BrainBug into the room.
Attract a BrainBug.
You know how to get BrainBug into the room? Cut out one of those little UV lights that attracts bugs, mosquitoes. That shit.
There you go. Yeah. Just start talking about spiders or any kind of bug, really. Actually, yeah.
I'm telling you, anytime I try to watch their video, if it has a spider in it, I have to like turn away from the screen. Spiders give me creeps.
Yeah, I don't like them either. Yeah.
The picture on the screen right now, at the base of this is eukaryotic cells, or cells with a nucleus and pretty complicated cells, right? And they pop out, and then of course plants branch off, and then fungi branch off, and on the right up here, or on the far right, the metazoa or true animals branch off. But in between is where choanoflagellates live. So they're very distantly related to us. They're off. They're not quite considered animals. They're considered something in between a mushroom and an animal. And that's where the research starts.
So how do they taste with ketchup?
Like chicken.
They taste like mushrooms.
Oh, okay. Okay. Cool.
Yeah. I don't know. No, I haven't eaten any. Tell you
maybe a little marinara sauce.
So speaking of that, Speed, if you, I don't know if you, maybe in the future, if you choose to, that little peepee video, there was a lot of conversation on this topic of, SFT was in there and he was going on, you believe you are related to bananas, that argument. And then there was some arguments on, you believe you came from a rock and this, so there was a lot of that types of arguments in this stream. I don't have timestamps, so I'd have to, maybe you might, if you choose to later on.
Yeah, I do have a few timestamps on that video, and I'm still working on it, actually.
I caught some of this live, I think.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, then you're our expert.
They had Jackson Rowe, I guess, was they were trying to get him to say that he came from a rock.
Yeah.
And he did say it. He said, yeah, the Earth was a rock, but the Earth was made up of. You see that surely every one of these guys went to at least a junior high classroom, right? And you see that periodic table up on the wall, all the different elements. Is SFT's position that whole periodic table, all its grandeur and all the elements that appear on there are all rock? Because that sounds like what he's saying. And I don't want to think that's what he's saying and be presumptuous, but it sounds like
rock.
Yeah,
that's what he's saying.
That is what he's
saying.
Yeah.
We did mention.
Yeah,
we did mention this on Monday's weather report. We were talking about this guy, this Andy X, when they were trying to get him to say he was related to a banana, and he kept saying, "No, you're not." But they were saying, "Oh no, evolutionary theory says you are related to a banana." And it's just it's a play on words. When they say you're related to something, you think my cousin,
Yeah, exactly.
We share a common
we're not
ancestor.
related to Chinese or something.
I mean, none of us believe that we're related to each other, even, right?
Right. I mean, you share a common ancestor from the Ediacaran. And let's keep in mind how long ago the Ediacaran was. We're talking before the Cambrian. That's our last common. Somewhere in that expanse of time was when our last common ancestor with the banana tree was. So to say that we're related, we're related if you go back a couple billion years.
Yeah, that doesn't matter to them.
But it's you know, if
multicellular life is like 500 million years ago.
If they can play on words, they feel that their job is done. You know, that's all they got to do. That's what you do that.
I don't know if we're sure exactly when the divergence between plants and animals was I just know that it was in the Ediacara, and I don't know. It could have been. There's a vast expanse of time there.
Right. Yeah. It's just so far back in time that it's silly to say we're related, although technically you might say that we are. If you strain the word technically.
Well, and if you want to go by the explanation that all life on Earth is related, right? I mean, that we're all descended from at least what appears to be currently with the data that we have. It appears that we all descend from the same common lineage if you go back far enough.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's about 700 million years difference. And plant cells developed really different membranes than we did, and some bacteria did too. And we're very, very, very little related to them, actually.
So BrainBug did a really cool cryptid this past week on Saturday, I guess it was. You were what was the name of the cryptid, like from the Indonesia?
Oh, the orang pendek, yeah.
Yeah, orang pendek, which of course that's the area where you get the hobbits. Many.
Flores is in that archipelago.
So you had that video. You were showing that video of these people on motorcycle chasing someone.
Mm-hmm.
Were you of the impression that it was probably some sort of indigenous?
Yeah, that it was I think the theory is that so there's an indigenous population called the Manti people in Indonesia, and they are pygmy people. They're very small in stature. They live in, and you'll see that when humans move into dense forested areas that we start to lose. As we evolve, we start to lose some height. So they're very small people, and they haven't been seen since like 1997 though. So if that was what they caught on that camera though, that's pretty impressive.
Was that the drone invasion from California, or was that a different one?
What's the name of the what you were talking about?
The Manti people or the orang pendek?
The Manti people. Huh. Mm-hmm. I've not heard of that. That's interesting.
Yeah, they're indigenous. There's actually, and that's the funny thing too. Is like the two, they're not related to the Homo floresiensis, but we kind of know that they we shouldn't say we know. We infer that they shrunk in stature from the same ecological pressures. And we see that you see that in the Congo and even some of the tribes in South America, where they have a smaller stature when the rainforest when in the rainforest in general. But it's kind of a cool trick of evolution. It's kind of like how birds get really big when they're isolated on an island. Get really fat.
It's called island dwarfism, but there's also a phenomena where certain smaller species get larger.
Yeah, that's what you see with the birds, and you don't see it with ratites. You see it with other clades of birds as well. It's something that once they stop needing the demand to fly to escape predators or to find resources, and everything's right there, and they don't have to fly anymore, their descendants start to get a little bit beefier and beefier till they can't fly anymore at all. And we have examples of this all from the spectrum, from ones that have been isolated are just now starting to get big to ones that are kind of. There was a goose in Hawaii that was kind of flightless. It could skitter a little bit, but
glide.
But and then even you see it to complete flightlessness to complete winglessness, because if we look at things like the I believe it was the moa. It might have been the elephant bird, but I believe it was the moa that it had totally lost its all the forelimbs completely. How did I get on this topic? You all just
I asked you what your thoughts about your video this stream this last week. So it's my fault.
Bug. So Bug, I am desperately searching for the title of the video that you're talking about. What is it?
It was at the beginning of my stream, so that would have been live from the Hive.
Creation Watch.
February 12th.
February 12th.
It will be re-released as an individual video, though. I would do the whole thing live as in segments, and then I cut the segments up and release them individually, so people don't have to watch the whole live stream. Yeah.
So it's this one, right?
I saw one of your short clips, and it had all these weird looking creatures in it.
Mm-hmm.
What was the thing on the treadmill? Was that like a dog in a disguise?
No, that was just CGI.
That was CGI. Wow.
Cephalopod. It looked really good, though, didn't it?
It did.
The slime effect was really cool. Yeah, I don't know how they did it, but some of those people can do some amazing things. You're going to want to jump ahead to about 12 minutes, I think, Speed.
I got the right video, right? Okay.
Yeah, it should be the right video.
Yeah, I like BrainBug's Saturday morning live stream is so cool to get up and, get a cup of coffee and, just kind of sit back and listen to him. You kind of, you wake up slowly, and it's a good Saturday morning thing.
Actually, bounce ahead a little bit further than that. I think it may be more like 25 minutes because I forgot the bug of the week ran really long this week.
20.
So you're talking about little people, a group of little people?
Yeah, there's a race of. This is talking about a southern flannel moth. You guys know what that is?
No.
Those little caterpillars leave a nasty, nasty rash on your hand.
Looks like a tribble.
Yeah, a tribble.
Who just gave up on life.
Yeah. All right. This is where it would start at.
Right. So
I was talking about the little people, as in if you ever seen the movie Willow.
Yes, I grew up on Willow.
Yeah.
My mom still jokes
There's
about how
the whole town.
We made them watch. We made her watch Willow like every day for a year. My mom still complains about that. But
yep, I remember
that. The whole town of midget people.
Yeah, they're called Nelwins in Willow.
Okay,
so people that were like that to be in the movie.
Yeah,
pretty amazing.
Should we play this?
100 people.
Yeah, go ahead and play it.
Okay.
You play a little bit.
Oh my god. Okay. It's my sister. Okay.
It's gracious.
So BrainBug, what cryptid are we going to do this Saturday?
Wait a minute.
This Saturday, Crypto Corner. I talk,
Okay. Was Scott, were you in there?
In where?
In that stream?
No.
Oh, okay. So you were over talking. Okay.
Oh.
Almost.
Well, you the phone rang. You said, "Oh, that's my sister," and then nothing. So I thought, well, I need to fill some dead space. So
actually, I'm trying to play a video.
Okay, well, I'll just hit mute, and I don't give a damn what the cryptid is.
I'm sorry, Scott.
Scott's like, fuck the law.
For a minute, I thought you were on BrainBug's channel because it's a live stream, right? You've confused.
Scott's been on my channel before.
Very, very confusing.
Okay.
Okay. Scott's mad now. He muted himself, I think. So anyway. Okay. Here we go.
Monsters are hairy monsters that stink and found pretty much in the folklore and history of nations across the country. They're amidst the world there. Across the world, have some kind of lore about a large hairy monster that lives on the outskirts of the wilderness, away from society, and is seldom seen and interacted with, but is considered it's respected and but potentially dangerous. But you know what? Oh, sorry about that. They're not always huge. They're not always monsters. There's a place.
Oh, pygmy Bigfoot?
Where they're tiny. Yep. Not teacup size, but very, very small. About a meter tall as it would stand. And that's the report anyway. And these are cited mostly in Indonesia, but there are some other areas in this archaeoplegio where these creatures are also cited. So We got Indonesia, the Malay Peninsula. We got Singapore out here, the Philippines, and we will explore some of the ideas and some of the sightings. But we got one main sighting I wanted to talk about here, and that is, let me see. Let me get this pulled up here for you because I think some of you will probably be familiar with this. All right, let's go.
So if I saw a 3-foot high Bigfoot, I'd say, like, "Are you kidding?" And then drop kick him into the dance. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna let it play a little fight. Talk too much during it, but here we go.
Oh, sweet.
I don't think there's any sound for this. Make it full screen speed. Oh yeah, see the little beastie.
Oh, let's see. Oh shit! Hang on a second. I got the wrong video.
With human features could be lurking within Southeast Asia. Jonathan has devoted his life to cryptozoology, the study that seeks to validate the existence of entities from folklore records, such as Bigfoot or the Loch Ness. Cryptids aim to prove animals that are known to be extinct.
So, okay, where is it?
So we come across the creature and it runs off.
Well, I think I just saw it.
Why is it always so fucking blurry?
Always blurry. That's one of Sasquatch's powers. Dips into.
I think I saw it.
Sasquatch's power.
This is allegedly what they call the orang pindic.
And
it is a supposed hominid creature that lives in the jungles and caves of island of Indonesia. And
okay, you want to tell us about it, or
that's about all there is to it. The rest of it is just ad hoc stuff that people people add on to it. It looks like it's supposed to look like a human in stature and form, like it's its legs and arms and everything proportioned like a human, but it's all covered with like orange orangutan fur. I don't know why this one's depiction is depicted as brown here. That's the picture they used, but for the most part, it's reported to be redhead. Now, when I get into this, and please, click the link and go watch it if you want to watch the rest of it. I think that's probably enough. You all saw the clip, but I do dig into it. We do do some zooming in and some of my red lines that people seem to love when I put my outlines and everything so we can see what we're looking at. It's I go ahead and do all that to this video, and I think we draw a pretty good conclusion as to what we're looking at here. I don't think it's a unknown hominid. There's a species of unknown hominid. I think it's a Homo sapien, but beyond that,
look at that.
Look at that ass.
Are you sure it's not CGI? That's just over an animal that was.
That's some dude's butt. I'm looking at somebody's butt, man.
That's a dude butt.
A dude butt.
It could have been an actual animal that they just put a CGI character over.
Yeah, then that's true. It's true. It could be CGI. That's always a possibility. They can do some crazy stuff on CGI, like that thing that Gert was just talking about, that snail thing.
That looks so damn realistic. I just thought it was maybe a dog or maybe even a robotic. Because that's how realistic it looked.
It's pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's what I did last Saturday. This coming Saturday, we're talking about the giant of Kandahar. I don't know if y'all are familiar with that.
No.
It's I don't know, half cryptozoology, half.
I've heard of that. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I guess it wouldn't be half, but it's gonna actually be a bit of a crossover with doing some creationist stuff, because the video I found of the guy who really promotes the idea of the Kandahar giant. He's super YEC, and he's all about Nephilim and hidden history kind of guy. So
history they won't tell you about.
That's this Saturday, this coming Saturday. I'll probably take up most of the show too, though. So come hang out, and we're gonna probably have some laughs and do some science and investigate some claims. Should be good.
History too horrible to tell about.
BrainBug, I try to watch your shows on Saturday mornings, but but usually I stay up so late on Friday night. By the time I get up, it's over. Or by the time I think about it, even when I'm up, like I'll see the notification and I'll click on it, and then it's like 5 minutes later, it's over, or it ended 5 minutes prior to me clicking on it.
I was just talking to my wife and kids about that earlier. I was like, I got up at like 2 in the morning, looked at my phone, and there was Gurr, and somebody still 2 in the morning.
Right, exactly.
We had to be up at time in the morning, and my kids cried. I don't know. We're probably gonna have to go to some family counseling about it because.
Yep.
I feel a little bit betrayed. I'm like, yeah, Gurr's gonna be here this morning. I know it. And then I looked at my phone, and you were up.
Yeah.
I think you were with Knock and some other people in a stream, and I was like,
oh yeah,
son of a bitch.
Gotta catch that.
Like, I was hoping you'd be able to join. Granted, I don't send out emails or notifications, but there's always a few people that I hope join the stream, and most of the time they never do.
I think BrainBug replaces the Marlon Perkins that I would get every Sunday or whatever from Mutual of Omaha. They would do that nature show. I think it was every Sunday, but I could have swore there was some sort of nature thing on our Saturday morning schedule.
See, when I was a kid, they had the Saturday morning cartoons, but mixed in with them, there was first when I was really young, it was Mr. Wizard. But when I got a little bit older, it was like I'm talking when I was like 3 and 4, it was Mr. Wizard. When I got older, it was like Bill Nye and Beat News World that was on between the cartoons. And sometimes they had like Jack Hanna have a special on in the middle of the cartoons, stuff like that. So that's kind of that's the vibes I'm going for on my show. Just have some fun. And I had a little bit like making fun of conspiracy stuff and YEC stuff and things, flat Earth. I talked about flat Earth the weekend before, I believe. So yeah, just a fun time.
BrainBug, have you seen that channel? I can't remember the name, but the guy is always looking for the most painful sting from an insect.
Oh, you're talking about Brave Wilderness, Coyote Peterson.
Yes. Have you ever seen their stuff?
Yeah.
Because that stuff, it gives me anxiety, but I watch it.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I have mixed feelings about Coyote Peterson. I appreciate the work he's doing. The sting thing that he does, he really is making. He's an actor first. He's really putting on a show with his reactions to the sting. If you want to, there's videos out there of people just accidentally getting bit by these animals and they're nothing or stung. It depends on what it is, and their reactions are not nearly what Coyote Peterson puts on.
Reality is so disappointing sometimes.
Yeah.
It is.
Man, that sucks.
It turns the animals into monsters too, which is kind of. Yeah. But.
So I linked your video in my description at the very bottom, so it's there for anybody to watch.
Yeah.
Now, BrainBug, if you're going to do another snake handling kind of video where like Jason, I can't remember his last name, from Dragons and Genesis gets on there and has every possible kind of snake wrapped around his body, you're going to have to give me about 2 or 3 days notice so I can get some therapy ahead of time.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was so much fun. He had a big old tortoise too. I love that tortoise he has. I can't remember what kind of tortoise it was, but it's huge. It looks like it's about probably 30 or 40 pounds of tortoise there. But he has a couple of snakes on. It was a good time. That was when was that? That was back in September or something like that.
Yeah, I really suggest people go back and look for that because that was a really good episode.
We talked about forced perspective and images. So talk about reality being disappointing, right?
Yeah.
When you especially like fish, people have been doing that for hundreds of years. I mean, as long as there's been photography, people have been using forced perspective to make things look bigger than they were.
As soon as cameras came along, they started going, let's see how we can misrepresent reality.
Yeah.
Well, I hate to do this, but I do need to bounce. But
what? Oh my God! The channel is saved.
There's a process server at the door. He has to go out the back.
Yes, I can't leave at the front. I have to sneak out in the to the back door.
At least I got to confront you about your your late nights and long hours where you leave me waiting, and I'm waiting for you.
Yeah, maybe we should have another segment where
I know
everybody
I've done
becomes
the
grown.
same thing where I'll wake up like at 2:00 in the morning and I can't sleep, so I'll scroll through YouTube, and I'm like, for example, Amy Newman. Every time I wake up at that hour and I see who's streaming, she's always the one that's streaming, and I'm like, oh my God, how do people do these late night streams during the week? Which I guess everybody has a different work schedule, but yeah.
I guess so.
I will see you all later and have a good one.
All right,
See
bro.
you.
Nice talking
See you,
to you.
girl. See you later.
Amy
So
is a
what
bit
did
of a
you what did you think of that Choanoflagellate stuff I was talking about there, BrainBug?
Well, I just caught right when I buzzed in. That's I literally just popped in, so I didn't hear too much about it. You want to give me the short version so I can check this out?
Well, they found some real rudimentary multicellular colony behavior in this single-celled animal, Choanoflagellates, and they were investigating it and found out that it was actually it eats bacteria. Well, then they found out that it was a bacteria that caused it to form that colony. So they hypothesized, I think, horizontal gene transfer and a few other things. And they're basically looking at the very rudimentary start of multicellular animals, how they started to stick together, and how trying to figure out exactly what is it outside of the cell that sticks one cell to another and forms these clusters. But this particular little colony, when it sticks together, apparently it aids it in pulling water into the column so they all get fed. Sort of like a bunch of cows at the trough, right?
Right.
Yeah, so they're just investigating the beginnings of things like collagen and sticky substances on the outside of the cell, proteoglycans, and then actin filaments on the inside of the cell.
Is that used in multicellular bonding?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so the things that stick cells together, basically. And there is cadherins and things of that nature. There are some rudimentary proteins that have this behavior. And so she is investigating that. They're studying that. And it's kind of a really neat glimpse into how a multicelled animal got its start, which is pretty cool.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah,
I know Choanoflagellates. I know that they're a really, really ancient group or clade of organisms that they date from like way back, but I don't know too much about them beyond that. They fall on is that where they fall in between animals and metazoa and fungi?
Yeah, and that's why that's why she became so fascinated with it. And I think she told her backstory, and I think her fascination began as either a child or very young, got fascinated with this whole research topic. And there's two hours of, I think it's about an hour and a half of video. She does a 2-part thing on iBiology, which is a really good site, and I've linked them in my description. But they're worth watching. When they start telling you, multi-celled animals couldn't have possibly evolved because of irreducible complexity, she boils it down to the very uncomplex, the very beginnings, which is kind of cool. So.
Right. It's literally a transitional form between single-celled and multi-celled organisms, right?
Yeah.
That they can group together, and they have a biological function that allows them to stick together.
Yep.
Fascinating.
Yep. And those sticky proteins that end up on the outside of the cell are pretty easy to develop. There's a protein and there's a bunch of sugars that attach to it, and it has a lot to do with things like you've heard about chondroitin. That you should take this supplement, right?
Right. Oh, I've heard that a lot.
Yeah, those kinds of things. Those are the biological compounds that they're talking about that stick together cells in different ways, and it's very
a lot of pet foods too.
Yep, And there was some other interesting thing. I think she made a case for why this kind of evolution is important in medicine and discovering things about cells. I know, for instance, that whole thing about cells sticking together has to do with why cancer metastasizes and why you can end up with a malignant cancer, that goes all over your body because of a breakdown in some of these compounds. And it's all very interesting. Also has an effect on embryology. So, and this thing here on the screen is a collagen gene, and you are made of 25% collagen. So about 1/4 of your body mass is collagen. So, or 1/4 of your protein mass, probably without water. I mean, you're mostly water, I think, but yeah. So 1/4 of your proteins is this collagen gene, and this gene is about 1,500 nucleotides long. And you can see those little green areas at the top. Those are the exons. Those actually end up in the protein. All the areas in between are called introns, and they don't end up in the protein. And there's a lot of junk DNA in there. I will call it junk DNA boldly because tomorrow CRISPR is going to be talking to Cell about junk DNA, and it will be very interesting.
That will be interesting.
Yeah, you can zoom in on this thing, and you can see that the introns are much bigger than the exons. So the part that actually ends up in a protein is the dark green part at the top, up here. And the parts in the middle are the introns, basically. And there's a lot of intron. And the introns have like 3 parts in them. They have 2 nucleotides at each end, and they have about 7 nucleotides in the middle that make a difference. But if you look at this here, let's see here if I can go to that. Okay, what you see here is on top, you'll see all those colored things. That is an exon. And then all of that kind of light gray stuff on the right, that is an intron. And out of all that intronic material, we know that at least 11 nucleotides, so 11 characters, actually make a difference. The rest of it is probably viruses interjecting themselves and things like that. So, and there's if you look down, this shows the whole gene. There's a part that I copied out. Take a look at it. You can see how much intronic space there is. And that's the space that is called non-conserved. So if a mutation happens to hit in that area, there's very little chance that it's actually going to have an effect overall on the protein. So it's not going to do anything. So you can see some of these introns are very big, and there's proteins. Now, the other interesting thing about collagen, Cell Cordova says, oh, how could that evolve? Well, a lot of these exons, the colored parts, the parts that go into the protein, they're exactly 54 nucleotides. I think 54 nucleotides long or 54 amino acids long. I think it's the nucleotides. So 54 nucleotides. Some of them are 108 nucleotides. So they all seem to look like they have been duplicated. And if you compare one to the other, okay, the thing about collagen is that it has a whole bunch of sequences of 2 different amino acids, glycine and proline, and that makes it stick together and it forms these fibers. And the glycine and proline is kind of interspersed in these exons, and they're duplicated over and over and over again. So it makes a real long strand, and that strand will stick to another strand, and then it'll those 2 things will stick to still a third strand, and they'll form little fibers like little threads, and they'll get together and form a thicker cord, and thicker and thicker and thicker, and that ends up being your tendons and things of that nature that hold you together, your bones and all of that. And you can see that this was a duplication event that created this protein, and that's how it happened. And now it used to be, Cell Cordova said that you never find these in prokaryotes. Well, that's wrong. we have found rudimentary collagens in prokaryotes. New discovery. They're finding them going way back. So these proteins started early and they ended up being a big part of multicellularity. So there's a whole story, which is kind of cool. Anyway, I'll shut up. I shut up now.
Well, if you shut up, then who's going to talk?
What is the
the one?
I don't want to do that. What's that?
So when DNA duplicates, it lets that part be a mutation free to mutate. I mean, while the other part's still working. And then
Yeah, well, that's
duplication be able to have mutations to be whatever else maybe in the future.
What's
Yeah,
what's
go
the
ahead.
generational rate of the species? I mean, are we going to be able to track these in real time? I'm imagining it's probably a fast turnover, but
You mean how fast they would change a
yeah,
species?
the reproduction rate of each the generations that as they speciate.
Oh, I don't know.
Okay.
It's pretty slow for the most part. You know, it has to go through the torturous cycle of purifying selection in order to make a difference. But I mean, well, as far as these duplications, you could have a duplication event in you and pass it on to your children, and they would be just fine. Their collagen would be a little longer. That would be the only difference, right? So,
Well,
like,
it doesn't bother anything. Yeah, it doesn't harm them in any way.
Yeah, and then on the other hand, there are a few very bad genetic diseases that are caused by these collagen proteins breaking down in some fashion. One of them causes you to blister all over your body constantly, and I don't think the survival rate is very good on that. So it's hard to pass that one on. But collagen is pretty important. But the thing is that this is a case where you can show the evolution of a protein by duplication of similar segments. And once you duplicate a segment like that so that you have more than one duplicate region, when DNA gets broken and crosses over and tries to repair itself, it will very often create another duplication in order to repair itself, because it will, like if you imagine a rope breaking, or like you got a you got two strands and it breaks apart on one strand, or the two strands are separated, one of them breaks apart and the other one patches onto it to repair it. And if it patches, I mean, it could attach to the like side one or two segments, right? It could be on one or the second one, and then it would create a duplicate part. So now you would have 3 segments. And then again, it would give you 4 segments and 5 segments. And that's how some of these proteins evolved, by these errors and duplication events. So, but if you look into how things evolve, there's a whole lot of information on how these things could happen. And it's quite a remarkable story. It's a story, if you started telling the story about, life on Earth, you would be telling that story for trillions of years, just to go through all of the details of how all this happened. But I find it quite fascinating to look into the genes at this level, where you can see these individual little pieces and parts. And now I'm going to shut up again. My cat is snoring. Can you hear my cat snoring? What the fuck is wrong with that cat?
Cannot hear the cat snoring.
Do you guys remember the part in the Jurassic Park where that part?
Put the frog DNA in?
Oh, the Jurassic Park thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where the breaks and stuff, and they put in new DNA or something.
Oh, is that a clip from the movie? Did they do that?
Yeah.
They did an animation
From the
cool
first part of the movie.
It was part of the park tour. Yeah. He's
Yeah.
Mr. DNA.
Yeah. Pretty cool.
He talks about how cloning dinosaurs worked from the mosquito DNA, which would not work in reality, though.
Yeah, I know. These things seem believable, because it's a cartoon or whatever. But yeah, you just don't know if it would work or not until you read the papers.
Yep. It would be.
Which I guess if a corporation were doing it, you wouldn't have papers on it.
If they were a secret corporation, conspiracy type level, that kind.
Well, even just corporations, they don't have to provide their data. They don't have to provide data on their research or publish papers or anything.
They keep it on a secret island, maybe a volcano.
Yeah. Oh, there's some volcanoes happening, aren't there? Krakatoa?
If you, I watched that daily Geology Hub update, because I get the notifications. And yeah, you would think that there's a volcano about to erupt under your feet, as many of them as he features.
Yeah, yeah. But Krakatoa is showing some signs of blowing again. Yeah.
Krakatoa,
even Mount St. Helens,
that caused the year without a summer, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
if that blows again, we'd be in trouble. But
I think the year without a summer was a little earlier, wasn't it? Different volcano, but I have no knowledge to debate you, bro.
Yeah, there's another one. Another interesting thing I heard on the news on the way back from Sam's Club, where I bought lobster claws, was there was a big mudslide that I think killed 43 people, and I forget where it was. But anyway, I started thinking, okay, the creationists are saying that fossils couldn't have possibly been buried rapidly, right? Except for a global flood. But how many mudslides have you heard about in the last 5 or 10 years, right?
Hundreds and hundreds.
Right. And they bury huge chunks of life, basically. And all of these things are potential fossils in the making. So, I mean, there's a lot of mudslides. And there's no reason to believe that we wouldn't find fossils, though they insist you can't. So what are we looking at here? Which volcano? Is that a fake one?
Just multiple, 5 incredible volcano eruptions caught on camera.
Scott, it was Mount Tambora. You were right. It was not Krakatoa.
Okay, yeah, because I knew there was that one in 1816, but then Krakatoa came a little bit later, like in the 1860s, was it?
Yeah, that one's erupting too. Tambora, I think, is showing signs of eruption.
Well, what's happening is there's a lot of surface activity, insertions up into the crust or whatever, towards the crust, and some out and out eruptions, obviously. But there's just the Earth is still alive down under in the depths, and
I think it's signaling the end times, is what I think. I mean,
what the fuck? What are you doing? Volcanic dances or something, and getting these things to stir up, or what?
Well, there's rumors of war. There's earthquakes and volcanoes. Although volcanoes weren't in the Bible, they're just earthquakes.
Yeah.
But those earthquakes, there are earthquakes associated with those volcanoes. So I can't deny it. There are wars, rumors of wars, and earthquakes.
Yeah.
Isn't there a volcano god in Genesis? Or not Genesis, but
didn't Yahweh start out as the volcano god?
Well, that's theorized, and it's likely, but the Bible doesn't really just come out and say that.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I think we're going to shoot her in the head.
Well, you're the one with the gun.
Yep. I'm the one with the gun. Do I have the gun? Oh yeah, I think we'll end it for the day. I'm going to.
Just want to thank all our listeners and watchers and Stormchasers.
Yes.
For being here. We appreciate everybody.
Thank you all out there in chat. Thanks
to
everybody
BrainBug for showing up.
Yeah, be kind. Yes. Take care, everybody.
Yeah, and we'll thank everybody except for Germania. But
he caused a lot of trouble, that boy.
A lot of trouble, yeah. And I've challenged him to a balloon fight.
I told you guys how he stood me up, right?
He stood you up. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
He stood you up. Now, I would say I can't believe that, but since it's Germania.
Yeah.
Germania.
Okay, we're going to kill it, guys.
Yep.
I got to find the right
Stay
thing.
Curious.
Okay. Yep. And goodbye, cruel world.